Hi, I'm Trevor Olson, and today I'm going to do a speech on pedal boards. I would like to introduce to you first my audience. This is Josh Shuttleworth, Carlos Ramirez, Ryan Shields, Mark Berkey, and Travis Williams. Fellows, would you please have a seat? Keith Richards once said, "Music is a necessity. After food, water, air, and warmth, music is the next necessity in life." Whether or not you're a big Keith Richards fan, I think we're all a big fan of music. In some form or fashion, it's come across our lives and it's found a way to touch our souls. And as guitar players, we also have a strong connection to music. We have a never-ending pursuit for the right instrument and also the right type, the right tones. And so with that, I'm going to discuss with I'm going to discuss with you what can be one of the most important tools that the guitar player uses. You're thinking the guitar, right? It's actually going to be the pedal board. Today, I'm going to dive into the different types of pedals that we have, the different types of uses that they all have. And many people think that when you're putting together a pedal board to create the tone that you are looking for, that you just throw a bunch of volume pedals and compression pedals and distortion pedals and drive pedals all on the board just in any sort of fashion, and then just plug them in and you're ready to go. But that obviously is not the case. So there's a couple of different important things that you need to look at. One of them being power. Power is an essential part, obviously, to getting the pedals to work. But you also have to be aware of the type of power that you're using, making sure that you have the right volts and the right amperage. In this case, we have a power supply that's on the back of here. And so each one of these pedals uses a level of power, ranging anywhere from 9 volts up to 18 volts. It's also dependent on the pedal, what the pedal does. Some pedals have a lot of different functions, and others are just almost just power. So it's very important to make sure that you have the right power for your application. We'll start here with the front of my chain. On the front of my chain, I use a compressor, and a compressor will actually take the signal that you're sending from your guitar to your amp and compress that sound, giving you more of a clarity, or making each note a little bit more smooth, kind of evening them all out. Next, I've also got here my volume pedal. I choose to put my compressor before my volume pedal so that it compresses the entire signal rather than just a portion of that signal here. So this volume pedal allows me to move the volume up as it sounds up and down, and basically carry out the sound or carry out the tone at whatever volume I choose to, but by using my foot rather than any of the pedals or any of the knobs that are on the guitar. From here, I also have my tuner that is plugged into the volume pedal as well. Obviously, that's to keep my guitar in tune. And then from that point, it gets a little bit more complicated. We use different types of drive pedals, which give you, they overpower your signal, giving you a different type of sound, sometimes more sustain, a little bit more crunch, which gives you the ability to do a lot of different types of styles. So with a lot of exploration, you can get to what you're looking for with drive pedals. As many of you know, I've gone through tons of different drive pedals just trying to find the ones that I like. So there's also different levels of drive pedals. We have light drives or transparent drives, which are a little less harsh maybe to the ear, and then there's the heavier drive pedals. So after my volume pedal, I go to my transparent overdrive, which is my lighter drive here. And then I move to my heavier drive, which gives a couple of different stages of drive. And that gives me just the ability to kind of do different levels as I'm playing, if I want to get louder or add a little bit more texture to the sound. From this point on, I move over to what they consider time-based effects, which are like delay pedals. Delay pedals give you the ability to put repetitions into your signal or into the notes that you're playing. And this here is my delay pedal. You're basically going to get a replication of the note or the chord that you just played as many times as you want it to duplicate itself, or in different patterns, from dotted eighth notes to quarter notes. And from there we move on to what they consider modulation pedals. Modulation pedals are anything that are like chorus sounds. Some people may not understand what that means, but chorus is like a texture. So a lot of times there's a lot of clarity in it, and it usually has different levels of almost like octaves that it's playing in between, or doubling the sound out of your guitar. So I personally don't use a chorus, but I use what they call an octaver or an octaver, depending on who you talk to, which will do different levels of keys as you're playing. So you could be playing in the key of C, but you're playing at this octave, but it's going to double it and give you another one above it or below it, depending on where you set it. And then from that point, I go to my reverb pedals. Reverb pedals are essentially they're like an echo pedal. It gives you more of a sound like an ambience or like a hall sound. Much like I have my distortion pedals or my drive pedals, I have two of them. I choose to have one that's a little bit lighter just for the majority of the playing, and then I have another one that is for the more ambient stuff, the stuff that's going to be able to have a little bit more swell in it. But you know, this all comes down to just your preference at the end of the day. Many times you will explore and try different styles, and ultimately it comes up to the way that you want to play and the style that you're looking for. None of this is written in a textbook somewhere. So I encourage you that if you're looking to get into something like this, that you would explore yourself and decide what works best for you. And I hope that my presentation today was useful to some of you who are guitar players, and then some of you that aren't. But lastly, remember that music is an expression of your heart. So have fun and do what makes you happy. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day said, "Just plug in and let go." Thank you.
You did it.